What's going on? What's going on? How y'all doing? Good morning. It is Zulu Gullah. Like, share, subscribe, comment. I'm on the move. Hopefully, I'm coming in loud and clear. Um, y'all know how I do. I give everybody a little time when certain news is all over the place, and you got this one and that one talking about it, and everybody giving their take on it. And I'll wait a little time to see if anybody can get it right. Now, as usual, everybody's confused. Nobody's getting it right. Everybody's talking about it. Everybody can say that it's wrong what happened to Jonathan Majors. Everybody can say that he was railroaded, in which I agree. But the thing is, they don't understand how. All they can do is give an opinion and express their feelings. Um, Now, why do I say this? First and foremost, why do I say I always wait and let everybody else go first? You know, because I've done this before. I've been doing this since 2020. If y'all knew me from back in 2020, especially when I used to do panels with Ramil, and we would look at the police shootings, or just in general, some of the shootings that happened to black men, I would break them down, and then I would predict and give the results of the issue, and it would come out accurate, dead on. At one point in time, I'm not gonna say any names, but one person told me I was wasting my skill set. I should be involved in criminal justice, some type of forensic science or something like that. I was like, nah, I'd rather not, um, because the system don't work like that. That's the one thing you have to understand. That's why we keep having these issues. The system doesn't work like that. There are other people with the same skill set that I have. There are many people with the same skill set that I have that are actually in their field, and they actually work in reverse to keep uh, the systems covered, right? And this is verifiable. These guys may not look at me as somebody that they were really mentioning YouTube, but when you go back and you look at those feeds that we had together, and I actually done those, you know, it's verifiable. Now, I'm still gonna put a disclaimer on this because I'm not an attorney, but I am going to offer you legal experience that I learned through my own trial and error from when I had legal issues. Uh, Come from extensive reading, and the understanding of legalese. You know, and there is a such thing as being self-taught, right? But my disclaimer is I'm not an attorney, and also that I don't want you to go out and do anything that you're not prepared for and that you haven't uh, sought official expertise and professionals with sanctioned titles, through institutions. So let me say that. But what I can tell you is uh, you can reference what I say and see how feasible it is and what are the chances thereof, right? So let's get y'all the truth about this Jonathan Major situation, right? Um, Before we even get into the incident and getting into the legal fiasco that we seen, which was also political, hey, y'all want to, I need to keep that in mind. Y'all have a social political, and legal fiasco all together with Jonathan Majors, what just happened with him. Okay? Socially, he has been attacked. Politically, he has been attacked. Those two things influence the improper judicial abuse of authority against him because he wasn't even a criminal. He hadn't even done anything. I'm gonna break all that down to you. So let me get to this first point. Hold on, let me okay, I gotta make a quick adjustment. All right, here we go. Let me get to this first point. All right, the first point is let's talk about the correct choice of woman, and also you have to factor in interracial dating, right? There's nothing wrong with interracial dating. I'm not a racist. But there's two things that coincide with interracial dating and woman selection that you can still choose the wrong one. And also, it can cost you in the end. At some point, definitely in the end. Now, as a black man, I've dated white women, not many. Really wasn't my thing. I wasn't compatible with them. I've had white women stop talking to me and stop dating me because they felt like I was more attracted and more in tune and had on my mind a black woman. And they were true. I could tell the truth, and they were right. And it wasn't an argument. We didn't end on bad terms. Nothing like that. It wasn't a dilemma. It's just a, initial assessment, conversation, like adults. And, I had to tell them they were right. This is how you know I'm telling the truth. I wasn't. I'm not finger pointing. I'm not trying to make myself look good. I'm just telling you my experience. Right now, there was no negativity or no type of tension or anything like that. But what I want to say is that making a decision to interracial date still is something that you have to be prepared to do, and you better be aware of the type of person of that culture that you're getting involved with, and to make sure there won't be any kind of backlash if something goes wrong, or if they're harboring, regret for dealing with you. If something doesn't go the way, especially when a whole other culture or a system can ensue behind it. And woman selection in general, like, I'm pretty sure this man has seen how she's been unstable, weak-minded, um, displaying many red flags. I'm pretty sure he's seen that before. So he wouldn't be getting texted by another woman or showing interest in another woman if this woman hadn't already turned him off. And that's the thing. The next thing that's going in with woman selection is knowing when to leave a situation. Same way I explained how I interacted with the previous white girls I dated and how it was amicable, that, they realized that I didn't have the mindset to date interracially. I just didn't. I tried it. I was honestly trying. So a lot of guys do make mistakes in lingering, and then also while lingering start searching. Now you got to cut it off and then go on your search for the next female. You never want to get caught up like that. You never want to get caught cheating. You never want to have two females come across each other's path that you're messing with. Same way you as a dude don't want a female to cheat on you, and you don't want a female to have you cross paths with another dude. You know, people. You know, that's Jonathan Major's fault right there. Everything that I explained. That's what he's wrong about doing. Those specific things. If you're not happy in a relationship, leave it. Then go find somebody else. Don't try to find somebody else and stay in a relationship you're not happy with, and you start getting everything mixed up and crossed up. Because people react differently. A lot of people don't like to be cheated on. A lot of people can't handle it. Some people will act the fool. So he is responsible for that, but that's not a crime, and that's no excuse to commit a crime. Now, let's get into what happened. The person that committed the crime, in fact, was the girlfriend. She committed the whole thing. Any kind of charges that came up that could arise from that situation, she committed it. Right? Now, here's the proof. If you take my cell phone from me, I have the right to take it back. It's my property. That's not assault. That's not harassment. That's not use of force. I have the right to defend my property. I have the right to retrieve my property. And if we scuffle over my property, then I'm in legal defense of what is mine and myself. Now, if you knowing that, this lady took somebody's property, used force, and started a physical altercation. She is the initial aggressor. Okay? The reason why the prosecutor didn't want to prosecute her because it would ruin the case against Jonathan Majors, because it will hold her liable for everything. So they had to bypass charging her with anything to be able to go after Jonathan Majors. It's kind of like the Fourth Amendment, what they call fruits of the poisonous tree. If something is wrong from the root, at the top of it, it can't be valid. So you had to take away the underlying cause of everything and make him the cause and not focus on her. There's this legal term called selective prosecution. Look it up. And selective prosecution is a constitutional and federal violation that can take place in any level, whether it be state or federal, regarding selecting people for prosecution based on, accusations. And it's under the guise of being protected by classes. It's a safeguard under the equal protection clause in the Fifth Amendment. So the classes that it defines is race, gender, age. You get where I'm going? So they elected not to prosecute the woman and elected to prosecute the man. That's one class. Jonathan Majors being a man. The other class is him being black. All right? And then they also had a jury full of white men and one black woman. Now, don't be fooled. That black woman doesn't satisfy a race factor. See, there's this other legal term that you don't know about that's a constitutional requirement called impartial juries, especially when you have issues of class, whether it be race or gender or otherwise, right? Juries have to be fair. So the composition of the jury makeup has to be balanced when there could be issues of class, right? The black woman doesn't satisfy the black factor. For one, you're dealing with a domestic issue, which a woman in general can be biased. So you need an additional black men in conjunction with a mixture of white women, black women, white men and black men on that jury. That jury was tailored and handpicked. Now, I question Jonathan Majors' lawyer. I really do. For one, a real lawyer could have stopped this at the grand jury level just by demanding the prosecution that has the burden and also responsibility to instruct any jury from grand jury to trial jury on all applicable laws, understanding of those laws, so that the jurors can have the proper insight as to how to approach something, right? So, and also would have made an explanation, made him have an explanation why he legally is not prosecuting somebody who created the whole scene, is actually the one that created the multiple charges and the crime itself, right? Now, Jonathan Majors, if he has good representation, not the representation that he used on the trial level, but if he goes and seeks good representation, if he actually listens to this and takes this live, again, reference it with another attorney or another law firm, he can win on appeal. He can win, you know, um, on that alone. It seems major, but it's not. And everybody's like, well, you know, it's a misdemeanor and it's not a felony. That's beside the point. The point is he should have never been charged with anything. He didn't do anything as far as what constitutes a crime, misdemeanor or felony. He didn't do anything. This also, you know, for the guys that struggle with trying to figure out is there a war against men? Is there a real unique war against black men? Is there does racism exist? This shows you all those things still come up. Now, I want all y'all to listen to this, what I'm about to tell you right now. What you seen in Jonathan Majors' case is what you're going to see every day when you go into a job. You've seen it with voting, what happened with the 2020 election. People are in positions of power and they're not following process. They're twisting and bypassing and skipping and taking out or doing away with process based upon what they want to do. They're doing what they want to do right now. Everybody's doing what they want to do right now, regardless of the rules. You know, you can go in any state law book, federal law book. You can go in any company policy and procedure, and you can look at how processes are supposed to take place, what governs what process, and what they're based on, any kind of rules, what's valid, what's legal, what's admissible. We're not even begin to get into the fact that they not only, I mean, that's one and the same. Them electing not to prosecute her and also electing to leave out evidence based upon her bad behavior and display is all the same thing. And this shit's illegal. You know, pertinent evidence must be admitted. That's another thing. So he has a lot of evidence issues. You know, he can appeal this on so many ways, beat it and be done with it. What should be done is you got to start having a counter for when these people do these things, right? You got to start having a counter for when people do these things. So let's talk about all the officials, the prosecutors, all the court officials, everybody who pursued this and participated in creating this kangaroo case, this fiasco, right? You have to not vote for them. When they do stuff like this, you as a man, black or white, if you go through a situation like this and all black or white men on the outside looking in, when you go through situations like this is when you need to start being like them, social and political, uh, um, inclined with a purpose. You need to identify these people that rely on votes to attain a position, and you need to take those votes from them on a mass scale. That's the only way. Now, if they cheat in the voting process, in which we know they will do that, they just cheat. But you still have to take the vote from them. You don't give it to them easy. And I advise all black men where that case resided at, that, when it comes time to vote, all able-bodied black men that's able to vote, you know, take your votes from those individuals that resided in that case. Anything that you can do to relinquish power from people like that, you better do it. And we're talking real over here. We're not talking about this happened and how I feel and my opinion and, you know, talking about interactions with men and women and just the dating aspect and vetting the partner and all this and all that. We're not talking, we're talking some real stuff here. How to get real results. I'm going to get more back into some other things in the case that y'all may not realize that's valid. They got skipped over. But we'll get back into that, right? But I wanted to make that clear. There is something that you can always do, even with the people that participated in um, basically hijacking the election. Anybody who has attacked Trump, these are elected officials. You do know you don't have to vote for them. You can take your votes from them. There's a way to stop this madness. You need to start learning how to pull votes. Okay, this person got voted in. They show they don't have no integrity. They show that they have bias. They have uh, discriminations of certain classes in question. Okay, we need to, and they definitely have shown that they will do anything necessary to appease their feelings and their lust. So if these people rely on voting to have these positions, take the votes from them. Now, Disney. Disney is making a mistake, and Disney could have done no wrong when they selected Jonathan Majors for this role that he was playing. Perfect. I'm talking about when you talk about actually bringing something that once was an idea, especially if it was in a comic book, and bringing it to the real screen, perfect. And now they're about to mess it up, and they're jumping the gun. And I understand everybody is confused. Again, everybody's confused. A lot of people aren't legally sound or know enough legally to have the right perception and poise in a matter to hold out before they make any decisions. If decisions are affected by the conclusion of the case, right? Anybody with any legal sense would be like, well, first of all, it's just a misdemeanor. Second of all, he really isn't supposed to be charged with anything. He didn't do anything. And I would be more than willing if I understood, you know, things legally that can easily be reversed with an appeal. So no, I wouldn't just go with, "Oh, you making Disney look bad because you got found guilty of this." You know, I'll be a little bit more uh, transparent and patient, just because I know there's a great chance that this can get reversed before I mess up my millions and millions and millions of dollars, especially when we nailed it. So, which brings me to the point that when things like this happen and corporations like Disney makes decisions like this and they leave you out to dry, uh, men, black or white, need to boycott Disney. They've been failing anyway. The last thing Disney needs right now, after that, the Marvels flop, and just infecting, you know, great characters, great creations of art, uh, from superheroes and comics, trying to hit it and water it down with feminism, and you're going even deeper in the hole now. So now, give them what they want. I know we got kids, and a lot of us grew up on Disney, but you know what? Fuck Disney. At this point, fuck Disney. When they do stuff like this, you have to fight back, boycott them. Don't spend any money with them. Don't subscribe to them. Uh, leave them out to dry. Leave them out to dry. All the men, black men, white men, everybody who knows this is wrong, take your money from Disney. Take your votes and take your money. That's what you need to do. Take your votes and take your money. I love the Marvel Universe. Just about the only movie I would go watch here over the last decade or so was Marvel movies. I buy them, but I can't watch people do wrong. Can't watch it. I don't care who you are. And what's going on in this country is abuse of process, and process is not being done correctly and fairly. We got some real dangerous people in positions of power not doing things by the book. So let's go back more into the case, right? Now, you got a man who goes from defending himself and retrieving his own property, he takes flight. Now, me knowing when somebody takes flight, they're no longer a threat. And the person who's pursuing them now becomes, again, in the realms of committing a crime. I've seen this. I had a friend who somebody literally broke in his house and he chased him out. And once he left his actual property and struck that individual, he got charged with a crime. You had this thing called curbage or it's not curtilage. You got, there is a thing called curtilage, but there's something about curbage or something like that. Uh, if you are in your home, somebody's trying to rob you, or a fight breaks out, you're lawfully in your home, and if it goes out into the street, if you hit that person once they're past your property, you're in trouble. If somebody has taken flight from you after you defended yourself, you can't pursue them. If you're defending yourself and you take flight, you know, the other individual is supposed to be charged with being the aggressor, obvious aggressor, especially when it's in public and it doesn't originate from anybody's personal property. So you have that. So we've talked about quite a few legal things. So I want you guys to know that there's a lot of people on the internet. I am not a big YouTuber with a lot of subscribers. That's the thing. When you get the truth, when you have the truth, you're going to get suppressed. YouTube's not going to let me tell y'all the truth. These other content creators, they're not gonna let me tell y'all the truth. It's about money to them. It's all this thing is ever gonna be about. If people can keep y'all running in circles with the confusion, they will keep you. If you send this live to Jonathan Majors right now and have him cross-reference it with a different legal team, somebody who's truly passionate and wanting to do their expertise, this stream alone will factor in what he can do to fix his situation. And it also can factor in, like, a lot of the nonsense that we keep seeing over and over again, we keep letting it happen. We keep letting it happen. These prosecuting attorneys all over the country that's doing this crazy stuff, they don't have to get votes. Take your votes from them. These judges, police chief, sheriffs, take your votes from them. And I'm not saying just do it in haste. I'm saying when they do stuff like this that's not right, take your votes from them. When they do their jobs correctly, reward them. But the processes in this country are not being handled the way they're supposed to be handled. These people are filling in the blank, making stuff up, discarding or skipping steps, or not following the rules themselves. They just want to do what they want. So I want to give y'all the real analysis, the real breakdown, and the remedy. And this is, I'm telling you, this is raw and uncut. This is what it is. Everything else you've gotten so far from everybody else, yeah, you know, it's just something to talk about with them. But they're not looking at what's really going on. This is your boy Zulu Gullah. Like, share, subscribe, comment. I'm on the case.